Can you be Catholic and a Democrat? That question has returned to the spotlight once again. The debate was reignited after a group called Catholics Vote Common Good launched a campaign aimed at attracting more Catholic voters to the Democratic Party ahead of upcoming elections. The organization plans to focus on areas with large Catholic populations. Through advertising and public messaging, it hopes to convince Catholics that they have a place within the Democratic Party. But critics say there is a major problem with that message. They argue that many Democratic policies in recent years have directly conflicted with Catholic teaching on important moral issues. Much of the criticism focuses on the administration of former President Joe Biden. Although Biden often described himself as a Catholic, many Catholics believe that several of his policies contradicted core church teachings. One major example was abortion. After the Supreme Court's Dobbs decision overturned Roe v. Wade, the Biden administration strongly opposed the ruling. It also supported expanded abortion access at both the federal and state levels. For many Catholics who believe that human life begins at conception, this became a serious point of conflict. Another area of disagreement involved gender ideology. The administration supported policies related to transgender identity, including changes to Title IX regulations. Critics argued that these policies blurred the distinction between biological sex and gender identity and raised concerns about women's sports, locker rooms, and private spaces. Religious freedom also became a major issue in the debate. Some Catholic and Christian business owners, charities, and organizations found themselves involved in legal battles over matters connected to marriage, sexuality, and conscience rights. Many believers felt their religious convictions were increasingly coming into conflict with government policies. Another controversy involved a memo from the FBI's Richmond Field Office. The memo described certain traditionalist Catholic groups as potential sources of extremist activity. After the document became public, it sparked widespread criticism from Catholics, lawmakers, and religious liberty advocates. For many Catholics, the incident raised concerns about how religious believers were being viewed by government agencies. Supporters of the Democratic Party often argue that Catholics should also consider issues such as immigration, healthcare, poverty, social justice, and care for vulnerable communities. However, critics of the party maintain that issues involving abortion, family, and religious freedom remain too significant to ignore. As a result, many Catholic voters continue to struggle with how to balance their faith and their political choices. The discussion is unlikely to disappear anytime soon. Catholics are not united politically. They vote in different ways and prioritize different issues. But one thing remains clear. For many Catholic voters, political decisions are about more than party loyalty. They're about conscience, they're about faith, and they're about deciding which policies best reflect the values they believe should guide both society and public life. As future elections approach, the question remains the same. Can a faithful Catholic comfortably fit within the Democratic Party? The answer depends on who you ask, and that debate continues to shape Catholic political life in America today.